Hello, this is Max Chapkin with Inc. Magazine. I am here in the video conferencing center of Inc.'s Brooklyn, New York bureau, otherwise known as my apartment. And if you've been following the blog for the past few weeks, you'll know that we at Inc. have gone virtual. We've been talking to so many entrepreneurs who have, said that they're sort of better ways to work outside of the traditional office. So companies that are totally distributed, companies that have flexible work policies, telecommuting. And so we decided it'd be more fun to sort of live this rather than just write about it. So for the past few weeks, that's what we've been doing. And one of the sort of luminaries who's been helping us here at Inc. with our experiment is Jack Nilles, who joins me from his home in Los Angeles. Good afternoon, Jack.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Good. What's the weather like there in Los Angeles?
You don't really want to know. It's about 74 degrees and sunny.
Wow. So Jack, you basically coined the word telecommuting basically 30-something years ago. You've
Right.
studied it for 20 years at USC. You have your own consulting practice now. What is like the number one reason that a company should consider doing this?
If they want to stay in business, that's usually a good reason.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to reduce their operating costs, if they want to make it easier to attract good people to work there, if they want to improve productivity, reduce their energy consumption, cut down on office space requirements, other than that,
So you think eventually this is going to be one of those things that you really can't avoid doing? So even if you have a company and you love your office, you're at least going to need to get comfortable with the idea that some of your workers might not want to come in every day, that kind of thing.
Well, that's right. And particularly as we get more globified, and we find that some of the workers we'd really like to have working for us don't live within 1,000 miles of our place and don't want to come to that office every day.
Right.
So that's one thing. The other is the society's changing just the way the people deal with each other.
Right. So what's the sort of biggest obstacle when a company is sort of going through the process of either setting up a telework program or closing down the office or what have you? Is it technological? Is it managerial? Is it some kind of combination?
It's almost invariably managerial. I mean, technologically, it wasn't the problem 30 years ago. For many more people to telecommute than were doing it at the time. The biggest obstacle tends to be between the ears of managers. It's an attitudinal question, and particularly, how do I know they're working if I can't see them?
Yeah. So now we've doing this for 2 weeks, and probably the most concern I've gotten in terms of feedback from the staff is from managers. And one of the complaints is basically that it's so easy to manage when you're all together, right? You just get up, you walk over to somebody's desk, and you say, "Hey, what are you working on?" And now you have to sort of set up a time. You email them. Is it going to be Skype? Is it going to be phone? There are all of these sort of setup issues that seem to kind of waste time and slow things down. Is that just something that we would get used to, or I don't know, what are we going through there?
That's mostly growing pains, just getting used to this. See, one of the key problems is that if you're a manager, you actually have to figure out ahead of time what your people are supposed to be doing. Now, this is often a very traumatic experience with people. So you have to think this ahead, and you have to agree with your coworkers there what's going to happen and when, and set up the schedule. And that's tough at first. But after you get used to it, which may be, take a month or two sometimes, then I've had managers come to me and said, I didn't get this when we were first doing it, but now I find I spend much less time, quote, managing than I did before we started this. It's much easier now that we got things organized.
Right. So how long do you think, we've been doing it for 2 weeks, and you had a chance to sort of meet us all virtually. I mean, how long do you think it would take, for us to sort of settle into this? Is it a month? Is it a year? I mean, things seem to be going pretty well now, but but what's the kind of learning curve in terms of time?
Well, it's hard to tell, but you know, you're an organization that is already used to dealing remotely with a lot of things. So I wouldn't expect it would take as long for you as it might be for a company that's always been people coming into the office. That sometimes we'll watch a company for up to 2 years to get them into tweaking their policies and procedures so everything works smoothly.
Right, right. Well, Jack, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure, and enjoy that sunshine.
Thanks.
So this is Max Chafkin with Inc. Magazine, reporting from the home broadcasting center in Brooklyn. I will see you soon.